Welcome back to Sports Night Oklahoma. Our next guest lost 239 pounds and was the season 8 2009 winner of The Biggest Loser, and he's one of our own here in Oklahoma, Danny Cahill. And Danny, I know people have to reach a point where they say, okay, I'm fed up, I've got to do something, or death is on the doorstep. When was that D-Day for you?
Well, that time for me was, I was sitting on the couch in my living room and my daughter had walked in, and I had noticed that she had been gaining weight and doing some of the things that I had done when I was a kid, when I was 7 years old. She had just turned 7. She'd put on about 10 pounds, and I remember sitting there going, oh, I hope she doesn't have to go through what I did, because I was an obese child. And she walked up to me, put her arms around me, and said, Dad, I want to be just like you. I want a belly just like yours. And that was the big eye-opener. It's that, I wasn't the only one at stake here. Not only would I leave them without a father if I died, leave my wife without a husband, which was bad enough, but to be the role model to my children. And it really kind of woke me up. What kind of role model am I being?
Yeah.
And you have responsibilities as a father, and I said it's time for me to stand up and take charge of those responsibilities.
So you did that. You go on the show, and obviously there's a lot of factors. You need coaching, you need support. You really have to make a lifestyle change, a permanent lifestyle change, if you want to get the weight off and keep it off.
Exactly. Coaches, I tell you, Bob and Jillian, not only do they teach you how to work out, once I left the ranch, I was at the ranch for 3 months, and then I went home and had to do it on my own for 4 months. And once you leave the ranch, I knew how to work out. I knew what to do, but that's one reason they were there, is to teach me what to do to work out. But I think more importantly, I think a coach and a good trainer, a good coach can take you to areas that you've never been to before. They can get you past that limit, that self-imposed limit you put in your mind. I've been training for my 3rd marathon lately, and I've noticed that when I run, there's a point in every run where my mind just automatically goes, okay, maybe you should stop, or you're tired.
Yeah.
And that point has been getting further and further with each run, and you have to kind of train your mind, because it's natural to set limits on yourself.
Yeah.
And I think trainers can take you to a place you've never been, have you do things you wouldn't do on your own, and then you kind of discover, hey, I can do this. I mean, when I was 430 pounds and they had me jogging on the treadmill, I never thought, walking was bad enough.
Yeah.
Then they showed me you can jog.
Wow.
And that opened up a whole new door.
So many people think that they're eating right, think that they're exercising enough, but having someone and a support team to really kind of help you along that way until you understand the knowledge yourself is really the key, isn't it?
For sure. When I went home, the first thing that I thought was, do I still need a trainer? And I fought with that decision for about a week, but I did. I found 2 trainers here in Tulsa that helped me, and actually someone that helped me with nutrition and other things. And then my wife and she supported me by keeping the right foods in the house and all that. I didn't know what I was eating when I went to The Biggest Loser. The first thing they did was said, you have to keep a calorie log, and you have to keep everything you eat. And if you don't do that, if you're caught not writing everything you eat down, it's grounds for disbarment from the show.
Wow.
Because it's that important.
Okay.
Because when I went to the ranch, I had been eating 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 calories a day. That's why I was 460 pounds. And I learned very quickly what I was eating and what was wrong. I mean, you don't want to get fried foods. You want to get baked foods. You don't want to. You can tell them put the dressing on the side, or cook my fish with no oil,
right.
No butter or whatever, and just cook it dry and season it, and then I'll add what I want to add. Because when you go to a restaurant, you don't know what they're putting on your food.
Nope.
But you can tell them how to prepare it, and
Yeah.
if it's not right, you can send it back.
Yeah.
And that takes training. It
Yeah.
does.
Those numbers that came out about our state, we're the fastest at getting fat out of 50 states. As someone that has lost all the weight, it's got to make you sick to know that as a state, we're horrible. We're used to being number 1 in AP polls and things like that, but we don't want to be number 1 in this.
Exactly. Number 1 on the football, on the college football is fine, but number 1 in being unhealthy, being obese, I'm living proof of that. I mean, I was 175 pounds, met my wife, and I got comfortable. And like I was saying, before, I've said to people, being comfortable isn't always a great place to be, because you end up, being in a lull. And in Oklahoma, it's Jillian came to Oklahoma to work me out, and
Yeah.
she came to my door. The first thing she said when she walked in was, "No wonder you were so fat." Everywhere I go drive down the street, and there's fast food, church, fast food, fast food, fast food, church, fast food. You know,
Yeah,
and I said
true.
it is. There's, you know, and then I drove down the street and noticed the same thing. You know, it does dishearten me, and you know, I want to become involved in helping Oklahoma become a healthy state instead of an unhealthy state.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals, because you know, I was on death's doorstep, and 5 months later I was running a marathon.
Wow.
So anyone can do it, and I want to tell them, and you know, tell them they can do it too.
Yeah, what's your advice to those people that are sitting there watching thinking, no, I can't do this, or the people that have started the process but have hit that point where they've lost a little bit of weight and kind of flatlined, and they're at that point where they're like, well, you know, I'm not getting the results that I thought I would get by doing this?
Well, to the people who haven't started yet, is a start. You know, last night I was on a conference call, and they said, what is your last thought? And I said, you can't finish if you don't start. You have to get up off the couch. You have to decide to make a change. You have to have that D-Day like I did when my daughter walked in. And you have to find that why to do it. You have to have a reason why. And you have to make that why big enough to make you get out of bed and go run. You know, I mean, this morning I didn't want to run, but I got up and I ran a 5K because I'm training for this marathon.
Yeah.
And it's just what I want to do. It's challenging myself. To those who have hit those plateaus, it's what my shirt says. It's lose your quit. That's my motto. Is you have to you take quit out of the vocabulary. When people hit plateaus, oftentimes they change something. They get into a lull. They don't work out as hard as they did. They start eating a few things they didn't. They're walking by the cat cupboard and getting a handful of something, and they don't count it.
Yeah.
You know, somebody asked me, if you take a bite of a cake all day long and you eat the whole cake, but you don't have to count. Yeah, you have to count every bite.
Yeah.
And so lose your quit. Don't stop, and just continue towards your goal. I mean, a journey is a lot of steps added up, and each one counts.
Well, I know you're out motivationally speaking and inspiring others to do what you did, and congratulations, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.